Hello, I am Ruben and today I am presenting my favorite whale or dolphin. And here it is, as you can see from this picture, my favorite whale is the sperm whale or the Physeter macrocephalus. Now, macrocephalus is a Latin word which means big-headed. And as you can see from this picture, it's one of the most and key defining features of sperm whales. They have these really big block-shaped heads that can take up 1/3 of their entire body. Now, their body itself can grow up to 24 meters, so their big heads, being 1/3 of that 24 meters, can grow up to 8 meters long. And 8 meters long, in comparison, for example, here there's a little elephant, the head of a sperm whale can grow bigger than an entire elephant. Now, why do they need those big heads? I hear you thinking. Well, these animals have the biggest brains of any animal on Earth. And not only that, their head also has to house a special organ called the spermaceti organ. This spermaceti organ is a very special organ that helps these animals, with these whales, with buoyancy and echolocation. Now, other key defining features of these animals are the small dorsal fin, followed by these little kind of dorsal humps. They're not really fins. So it looks a bit like the back of a dinosaur to me. Also very cool. Now, how can we recognize a sperm whale? Of course, because of the head, because of the dorsal fins, dorsal fin and dorsal humps, but they are also dark gray or sometimes brown, but the most famous one is of course the white whale. The white whale from the novel Moby Dick, which also is a sperm whale. Now, just as in that novel, Moby Dick, these whales have been hunted very extensively over the last centuries, unfortunately, and that's because of the special oil inside their spermaceti organ, the spermaceti oil. Luckily, nowadays we have alternatives to this oil, and these whales aren't hunted as actively as they used to be, and they are protected, luckily, because they still suffer from the overhunting that people have done on them for the last couple of centuries. Now, what makes these whales really special? Well, not only do they have the biggest brain of any animal in the world, they are also the largest predator with teeth in the world. A lot of people think it's orcas, but no. It's sperm whales. Sperm whales are the biggest toothed predators in the world. Now, what do they hunt, being a predator? Well, sperm whales hunt giant squid. And these giant squid, they live way down deep in the ocean. They live at depths of 1,000 meters, 2,000 meters, and these whales dive to catch them. So they dive 1,000 meters deep, sometimes up to 2,000 meters deep, and at those depths, the light doesn't penetrate the water anymore, so it is pitch black. You cannot see anything. So these whales use their echolocation to locate the giant squid and catch them. Now, these dives, diving up to 1,000 meters deep, 1 kilometer deep, 2 kilometers deep, it can take a while. It can take up to an hour or even more for them to dive that deep and come back up. So when we see them at the surface, they're only at the surface for about 8 till 10 minutes to recuperate, to rest a bit, to breathe, and then they dive down again. So if we see them at the surface, we have to be really glad, because it's only a small opportunity in between dives that we can see them at the surface. Now, these whales can be spotted around the islands of New Zealand, but unfortunately only or mostly the male ones, because the male sperm whales, they come to the colder waters, both in the Antarctic as in the Arctic. In the Arctic, they go up north. In the southern hemisphere, they go down to the colder waters, while the females and the calves, they stay in the more warm tropical waters. So even though the males here are usually alone or in bachelor groups, these whales are very social overall. Within family groups, there's a lot of touching, there's a lot of vocalizing, and they even have cooperative care of their young. So they help each other with caring for the young. Scientists have also found that these fantastic sperm whales have vocal dialect. So each pod, each family pod, has kind of a different accent in the way they talk to each other. Now, just as other toothed whales or Odontoceti, these whales are very, very intelligent. They show signs of self-awareness, of culture, and in some cases they even express grief. For example, sperm whales have been seen caring or supporting animals who got injured, other whales who got injured, other sperm whales who got injured, and staying close to calves who have unfortunately died. So they do express grief, and they have, of course, their big heads with big brains, and so a lot of room for intelligence. Now, one thing we really have to make sure we do when we encounter sperm whales is being very quiet and listening. Because if we are lucky, we can hear the deep rhythmic blows of their breath, and even underwater using hydrophones, we can listen to the clicking sounds they make when echolocating. So that's it. I hope you are as convinced as I am that the sperm whale or the Moby Dicks are the best whales in the world, and I'll hope to see you soon. Bye!